Hey, it's Coach Vic, Certified Land Investor. Glad to be here with you. Today, I want to give you a quick video about my favorite tools I use as a land investor. These are online, and these don't include the tools that I create myself because I do a lot more coding behind the scenes that make things easier for me. But in those cases, I'm more or less automating tasks that you can do manually. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you and show you my favorite tools and why I like to use them, and sometimes how I like to use them. Now, quick disclaimer, none of these tools are new or groundbreaking. In fact, you've probably been using them every single day if you've been doing this land investing business. But for some people who are new to the game, or maybe I might share a little insight on how I like to use these things, maybe you'll find these helpful. Without further ado, let's get into our first one. All right, first is the one that kind of starts it all. This is Netr Online, N-E-T-R Online. This is where I can find all of the property, or I should say all the counties' different websites where I can look at all the different property sites. So it's a pretty simple website to use. I highly recommend all of my students to use this. In fact, it's one of the first things I tell them to use. It's a free site, just Netr Online. To get to where I am now, if you go to the home page, if you go to public record, maybe this is the home page. Hit public records online just in case. If you don't see that map, then you will. Then you can either click on the state, or you can go through here and filter it, or you can use the city to county converter. So if you don't know the name of the county, instead of doing a Google search, you can just do it here. So for example, if I just typed in Dawson, Texas, right? Convert, boom, it's Navarro County in Texas. Now, obviously, the benefits of this is I can easily find every county's website. If I'm looking for the appraisal district or the appraisal site, or where I can pay property taxes or look up if they owe property taxes, this is where I come to. Now, sometimes the webpage they bring you to isn't exactly what you need to do. So if you're looking for the appraisal district, you're looking for where you can look up every single property, it might take you just to the appraisal's homepage, which doesn't have the property search. So you might have to do a little digging, but this is the first tool I like to use. Okay, next is your favorite and probably mine is Zillow. Why do I like Zillow? Well, you get a lot of data in one little place. Now, I mean, granted, they've been pissing me off lately by not putting up my ads, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But in general, I can easily look out and find information about an area, a county, whatever it is, easily. So when I'm doing a lot of my information, or a lot of my research, this is where I come for information. So Perry, Florida. And what am I doing here? Well, I'm looking at the market. I always sort low to high so I can see what the cheap properties are, and I can scroll my way down to the more expensive ones. I can kind of get an idea of, you can see here where the different dots are, of the clumps of land and where everything is, where all the action is happening. And if this is a non-disclosure state, then this is where I will stop. But for a place like Florida, I should be able to see sold listings and see not only where they're located, but the actual prices. So this is why I like Zillow so much. And then if I don't like what I'm looking at, and I don't really have a particular place to look, I'll remove the boundary, kind of just move the map a little bit, maybe redraw a boundary to kind of like, oh, what's going on in Tallahassee? Apply. Boom, let's zoom in a bit. Hella things. Let's make sure we have all the filters off. Get out of here. All we want is lots of land. That's all I care about. Boom. And I can start to see the different properties of how much they sold for, when they sold, things of that nature, to give me an idea like, hey, is our area hot or is it not? There's some other tools in here as well. What I like to do is grab all this data, put it in there so I can get a bunch of comps and get it like a cost average of basically price per acre, what it sold for, time frames, how long things have been on the market, so on and so forth. I can do that because not all of these things were sold on Zillow. Some of these are listings that Zillow picked up from the MLS and is putting it on their site to make them look a lot more cool. But this is number 2 in the list. Granted, this list is in no particular order, but I love looking at stuff on Zillow when I'm chilling out on the couch watching a basketball game. Sometimes I pull out my phone to kind of do some cursory research and for places to look into later. All right, so number 2 is Zillow. Okay, so third on the list, again, in no particular order, is LandWatch. Now, I have a paid membership, so I can go behind the scenes and search for different things to kind of give me an idea of what I'm looking at. So I can look at, we can do all the different active listings within, let's say, 3 miles of, the last time we looked at Perry, Florida. Was that what it was, Perry, Florida? There it is. And I can put a time range or anything like that, but we'll just do that. We'll put acreage. No, we'll do price. Right? It doesn't matter what you search by, just whatever you're looking for. But you can see there's a lot of things here. Price, low to high, search properties, this building report. And I can kind of get an idea of what listings were on this web platform. I don't think this picks up anything from MLS, but it could. And what did it sell for? And so you can see when it sold, the price per acre, or how many acres, price per acre, things like that, to give me an idea like, okay, if I buy a property in Perry, Florida, what can I expect to get for it? So I like this because this is a little bit more concrete because it's just from one site. Granted, it's all self-reported information, but usually the information has been pretty good to me. And because LandWatch lets you do a lot of stuff here, it's always been good. So let's look at landwatch.com. Let's go to their site. And we could do here, see what we have just as a regular person. So if you don't have a list, or excuse me, an account, you can still do a lot of the same research you do on Zillow, but you do it here on LandWatch. And there's a lot of different filters here. You can look at the different price ranges, the sizes, make sure you want undeveloped, things like that. If you don't like LandWatch, you can also do, what is it called? Lands of America. That's another site. They're all connected. It's more or less the same thing. And there's one other site that I'm not thinking of, but all of these, I don't want under contract. All of these sites are together. So yeah, number 3, again, in no particular order, is LandWatch, like Zillow, or it can be a little bit more powerful if you have a paid membership because you're advertising your properties on this platform. All right, number 4 on this list, again, in no particular order, PropStream. This is a good website when you're looking to pay for a list. It's not as powerful as DataTree, but it is pretty cheap. It's only like 97 bucks a month, and you get to pull all like up to 10,000 records per month. That means export it into a spreadsheet where you can get them skip trace and all that. You can also get things skip trace within the site. But in general, the site's pretty simple. Perry, oops. I don't know why I just stuck to Perry, Florida, but you know, whatever. If I can spell, that'd be good. What? There we go. As you can see, we have all these different listings. Now this is houses, this is everything, but if you want, you can come to these filters and just do vacant land, like so, and close. Now, what I teach is there's more than just filtering of vacant land. You like, this is, look at this, 4,901 results. Sounds like a good list, but you want to, there's certain people that you want to target more so than others. So a lot of times I'll filter out a lot of these properties because I know it will be a waste of time. Like if somebody lives on this property, for example, you know, where is this at? The mailing address is post-fold. Oh, this person does not. This is someone I would definitely hit up and be like, hey, let me get your property. Let me get that. Let me get that. But as you can see with PropStream, you can look up individual properties. You can see a bunch of information about them, including assessed value, market value. Whether or not those values are accurate is a different thing. But you can get all the details you want about the property. Not as good as going to the county's assessor site that you can do by following Netr Online and clicking on that county site. But sometimes it's hard to get the information, or the information is locked behind a paywall. So you come to a place like PropStream and you can look it up. Now, the issue is looking up a particular property is possible in a search, but you have to have know the right commands. And off the top of my head, I do not remember them. But in general, you filter out, you can export a list, right? You click this, add to list. You'll name the list. I don't want to add these to the list, so I'm not going to do that. But that's how you can get all the properties. Now you have a list that you can mail to. So PropStream, again, pretty cheap. You get images. It's not as good as DataTree, but it is really good. It is cheap. It is more or less effective. But yeah, this is number 4 on my list, again, which is not in any particular order, but this is DataTree. Oh, I'm sorry, PropStream. All right, last on my top 5, again, in no particular order, DataTree. All right, I was just talking about PropStream and I kept, trying to compare the two. Well, DataTree is like PropStream on steroids. You get everything PropStream can do and then some. It's a little more difficult to use in my opinion, but you do get a lot more information. All right, so let's actually go back to Perry, Florida. What? You can, I don't know what county Perry, Florida is in. All right, well, let me look and see what. Okay, looked it up on Netr Online. It's Taylor County. $10 if you actually knew that already. All right, let's see what it shows me if I do a search with just those two things, or do I need to do an advanced search? All right, we'll do it here. So same thing, state, Florida. County is Taylor. And we just want to make sure we get all of the vacant land. Boom. Update the results, get the count. Look at that, hella results. Now, if you may remember, PropStream only had like 4,000 some odd results. We got 5,400, but actually we did just in one town though, so I'll take that back. But if we want to just do the town, we can come back up here and say city is Perry. So that's a plus mark. Get count. Close to what PropStream had. All right. And then what we can do is view the results. View all results. Yeah, we're not going to put all in one map. It's fine. DataTree be getting finicky, right? And you can click on it, and this is not too different from what you can do with PropStream. You can see all the information. But with DataTree, you will be paying more for these records. You will get more information from the records. There's a lot more data you can pull. It's a lot more complete, but you won't have to, be digging around for stuff. You can always see everything you need. You can also do title searches, property reports. Like there's so many things that you can look at on DataTree that you couldn't get from PropStream. But in most cases, PropStream's list will be just as good if you're just looking to get a quick deal. You may not need all this information. You may not want to do these other lien reports or these other things that are available in DataTree. You just want a list so you can start contacting people. But either way, that is it, right? How come it doesn't actually update the map? Let's see. Oh, look, you can get links to Zillow and Realtor. Let's see if I click this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's pretty neat. I don't know why it's not updating the map, but usually it does. View other properties. And yeah, but anyway, that's DataTree for you. All right, so that's my fifth recommendation. All right, so there's my top 5. As I said repeatedly, those were in no particular order. Some were paid products, some were free, some you can use a little bit of both. And personally, I don't use every single tool in that list every single day or all the time. They have their specific uses and their specific needs. For example, DataTree and PropStream can do a lot of the same things, but it's easier for me to use PropStream to get a cash buyers list that I can just skip trace and contact them and see if they're looking for some property, which reminds me, I probably need to do that. But DataTree, when I'm looking to pull a list to get information about a county so I can start that initial outreach to see who wants to sell, they give me a lot more property information and it's a lot cleaner in my opinion. But they both do the same thing pretty well. Now, there may be some other tools that I didn't talk about that I don't use very often. And if you feel there's something that I'm not using that maybe I should, let me know. And it's not just for me, it's for everybody else that's watching. With that said, if you have any questions, let me know. Understand that I am a coach. So if you are looking for some accountability in your land investing, or you're actually ready to make some money and stop nickel and diming these folks out here, or spending money on $8,000 or $10,000 on a mailer and getting no deals, or you're only getting desert squares and you can't get the premium property, well, if that's the case, you probably should hit me up, because I can guarantee that I'm doing something or some things better than you are that I would glad to share you if you're in my coaching group. If not me, then one of the students I've already taught that are actually killing it right now and actually making money. But you don't got to believe me. You can just ask them. I keep a small group because that's just easier for me to maintain. I'm the only coach. I don't have any coaches. I don't have anything else. It's just me sharing what I go through every day, helping people stay accountable, helping to vet deals, and sometimes funding some of those deals depending on what's going on. So if you find that useful, make sure you hit me up, send me a DM, do whatever it takes, and then I will get back to you. We can set up a time for a Zoom call, and I can help you with your land investing needs. And in 6 months, you won't recognize yourself or your bank account. Other than that, it's Coach Vic. Glad to have been useful. Hopefully you guys are having a good one out there. Make sure you guys are making that money, all right? Turn your dirt into dollars. All right, peace.